Morning, Paula. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started here. We're a few minutes past the bottom of the hour. Good morning, Stumps. So as we start every session, we start with a risk disclosure. Just reminding everyone that I'm not here in any sort of investment advisory capacity. That the information I'm about to provide you is general information only. None of the information provided or contained herein is intended as an investment advice, an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, future, or fund. Okay, we all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and it's not for every investor, and that we should be only using risk capital that we can otherwise afford to lose without compromising our lifestyle and financial security. Okay. Yeah, so with that said, guys, let's go ahead and move into the first part here, and that is to review the news. Okay, it's going to take a look at the news. We have manufacturing PMI coming in here at 9:45 Eastern time. We have also ISM manufacturing PMI coming in at 10 a.m. I actually have a few things coming in at 10 a.m., including our option expiration. So, fair amount of news today. All right, something to keep in mind as we approach the markets. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our first instrument. Okay. And it's not crude oil, but it's I'll go ahead and move into gold, since gold has technically opened here. So we'd like to get some information about that market first. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn off our levels here, ADR and ASR. We're going to actually leave this because it factored in what I wanted to here. So first thing that I'm going to look here, since this is technically the beginning of the week, we'll take a quick look at the weekly chart, and we'll see how the week has started. Well, the week has started lower. Okay, still very much, I would say, in a uptrend. I don't think there's anything in this move down that has broken any significant structure here to the downside. I would say that we'd have to get below 2,500 in order to really, and not just 2,500. It needs to be a 2,500 close below before we start to see any kind of indication that maybe we are in for a more significant pullback. Okay, this feels like a natural pullback in an otherwise uptrend. Okay, in the gold market. All right. Looking at the daily. Good morning, Nuba. Nuba. Hopefully, I got that correct. Moving on to the daily chart here. Hey, Larry. Again, we are, we are, while we have not broken anything significant, we do seem to be in range of late. Okay. We do see, we have kind of what appears to be kind of a little bit of a double top pattern being established here on the daily chart. Seems like we are slowing, I guess, the progression to the upside on the daily chart. Okay, so while we are up, it seems like we are a bit more in range than we have been in some time. Okay, so Looking at the 4-hour chart, 4-hour chart. Okay, so actually this is the first set of candles where we actually have broken some structure here to the downside. We did attempt to get below 25.18, and that's been met with some support. So we have some buyers who have stepped in by the indication here. We have a wick. This candle is far from complete here, though. Okay, as I mentioned before, if we do get below 2,500, I would say that would be kind of our first significant break in structure to the downside. Okay. But we're still above at 25.25 or 25.26. All right. We are developing somewhat of a bearish candle here, although it has a relatively large buying wick. Okay. So if we are bullish in the market, we want to see the market get above 25.40. Okay. That's kind of the next, I would say, the next level of importance here. We see that it was a supportive area before, now potentially has now become a little bit resistant. If the bulls are going to continue this structure to the upside, it needs to get above 25.40. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Now, this, given the how you say, abbreviated session that we had yesterday, what I often do is I create a composite volume profile, meaning that I create a multiple day volume profile. Since Monday was an abbreviated schedule, what I generally do is I create a volume profile from the start of Friday to the end of Monday. Okay, since Monday was an abbreviated schedule, to create kind of a composite schedule. Okay, anytime I have sort of an abbreviated schedule, I generally try to draw a volume profile that extends multiple days. Right, I feel that the volume profile for Monday is far too small, and the volume is far too low for any significance. Okay, so what I try to do is I do a volume profile across multiple days. All right. Now, with that said, first order of business here is I'm going to go ahead and open up our average daily range. I'm going to go ahead and locate my levels for this market and add them here to the top right hand side. Okay. So we'll move that over here so it's visible for everyone here. And then we're just going to go ahead and spot check some of these levels. Okay, so we have the ADR high coming in at 2551.6. So I'm actually going to modify this a little bit. 2551.6. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up ASR. See ASR here. And that's coming in at 2542.6. Okay, that could, like I said, it could adjust some with the open of the equity market here in the next 45 minutes or so. But that's what we'll start with. We had a nice reversal in gold off of both ADR and ASR here. Actually, right at the open today. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up initial balance. We'll modify that to be not Tokyo, but the US here. So we'll go day session and we'll click OK. And so we have our initial balance range that's being established as we speak. Okay. So we had a nice little bounce off of some of this might be a little bit news driven. Okay. We had, I don't know if there's some news that was in the market here, but this seems to be an over exaggerated move to the upside for it to then fail. Okay. So nonetheless, we have, just to kind of double confirm again some of these levels here. We have value area high coming in at 25.39, which is in line. We got point of control at 25.32. We got both settlement and value area low relatively around the same level. So yeah, so looks like we have our levels correct here. So So a couple of hypos right away that I see, okay, is that if price, it does not manage to close back inside value, okay, from Friday through Monday, then we have a reasonable chance for price to continue to extend to the downside. There was a couple of attempts here, this attempt and this second attempt, both to get above settlement and also go get inside value. Both were rejected. Rejected each time. Attempts to get into that have been rejected. Okay, so first hypo would be that we continue. All right, continue to the downside, um, and respect this value area low. All right. Now, if price does not, okay, obviously we need a bearish candle here at some point. If price does not close below value and closes inside value, we could experience a full rotation through value all the way up to value area high, maybe initially up to point of control. Okay. So those are, I would say, the couple of hypos. If we do go bullish, we are in a relatively small range. I would say, less than $500 initial balance range is actually relatively small, okay, compared to others. Okay, if you look back in the past, you see we had a another relatively wide initial balance range. So we could, I would say, the initial balance play that we've discussed in the past in group coaching is in play at the moment. If we do have a relatively narrow range, then we could play the break of initial balance in one direction. It appears that it does want to indeed close and maybe extend through back to the highs here, which also would take us back to value area high from Friday. Okay. So we'll be quite interested to see if this 30-minute bar does indeed close back inside value, at which point it could close back above this 25-26 level, and we could get a full rotation extension all the way back to the highs of the day. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and identify my anchor VWAP, and I'm going to use the high of the day or the high of the London session here as my anchor. And you can see here that with this candle here, we made a couple of attempts to get above this anchor VWAP. Well, this candle here is flirting with the possibility of that happening. Okay. So again, that's also another indication, the settlement price and this anchor VWAP. If we do close above either of those, that could spell for an opportunity to the upside, okay, in this market. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Any other scenarios that I see? Yeah, no, I think those are the ones that I see right now. Looking for maybe a potential bullish move through and through the entire value range is, I guess, my hypo number one. My hypo number two would be that it continues to respect this value area low and provides us an opportunity to the downside. Okay. Hey, Driss. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. If checking to see if there's any questions right now. Again, we have a couple of hypos here that we're going to be looking at. Again, is value area low is going to be our reference level that we're going to be paying particular attention to, and then obviously IB high, right, is going to be our secondary one to kind of give us further evidence that this market is indeed going to move higher. Okay. All right. I think that's it for gold. Let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. So I'm going to go ahead and move this off and add this here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and turn off some of these drawings. And we're going to go ahead and focus our attention. I have this is my volume delta. So a fair amount of selling going on in crude oil at the moment. So we got the day. We're going to go ahead and start with the weekly. All right, we're going to take a quick peek at the weekly and get a feel for the direction it wants to move, or what's the path of least resistance at the moment. And I would say that the path of least resistance at the moment, if you can look at these series of candles, is to the downside. Now we're at some weekly levels. Okay, we reacted once away from it. Okay, we reacted a second time, but not as much. Kind of exhausted a bit of resources here. It's not reacted to the same degree as it reacted away the first time, before it resumed its flight to the downside. Okay, if price does get below, I would say 71. Okay, 71, then I would say 70, 75, and to be specific, then I think it opens the door for price to come back down to 70, and maybe as low as 68 or 66 before it makes any significant reversal, okay, in price. So part of me is happy to see this, because that could translate into lower prices at the pump. Okay, all right, let's see. Just going to move this. Yeah. So again, fair amount of volume coming into the short side in this market. All right. So daily chart. Looking at the daily, again, we have our series, kind of a series of candles here. We're flirting with the possibility of closing below. Okay, below this daily level. You can see here this 72 level. This 72 level has been a level that we've kind of reacted away from, but each time we've reacted with less vigor. Okay, so this time was the most vigor. We come back down, we react, but it lost resources before it fell again. And the third time, it hasn't been able to continue where it left off here before it started. So yeah, looking at the daily, crude oil seems very much bearish. Okay, for our chart, we have our series of lower lows and lower highs. Okay, in this market. Okay, you see lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And now we're at a level either we're going to bounce away from, or we're going to break below and extend to the downside. Looking at this volume delta, okay, we see volume delta here on the bottom. We have increasing orders to the downside. So we have price that's aligned with order flow. Okay, volume delta is a measure of order flow. It measures the delta of who's dominating the it's kind of a way of reading the tape, right? If it's below zero, means that the bears are very much more sellers than buyers. If we're above zero, then we have more buyers than sellers. Okay, so this is a good volume indication to see the significance of the current move, whether it's being supported by volume, and currently it is. All right. 30-minute chart. Okay, so 30-minute chart, as I mentioned in the open here today, I'm going to be doing volume profiles that extend from Friday all the way through Monday. I don't believe the volume in Monday was significant enough for us to just analyze it on its own. So we're going to take a composite volume profile and drag that to the end of Monday here, okay, which was, I think, right around this time here, okay. So here's our volume profile. You can see that price is well below it, okay, well below value, right, indicating that we have some strong bearish participants, okay. We have, I don't know, again, if this is news driven, but we have a very strong in the volume indication of sell orders in this market. All right. So let's go ahead and open up our ADR levels. We have already cracked below. We had a reaction away. Now let's open up ASR as well here. So ASR, we got this going up here. Let's see, where is that pointing to? That's London. Let's see, point this to New York. Okay, so both those levels have we have price below. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our levels here. So I'm going to capture our levels here on the right, and then we'll talk through a couple of hypos for this market. Okay, so we'll go ahead and post that up here. All right, so we have our levels. We're going to go ahead and spot check them. We're going to say we had 75, 74. What is that? 74.67 as our average daily range high. 74.67 as our average daily range high. We have ASR, which is average session range, at 74.40. So we're going to go ahead and modify that, 74.40. And then average daily range, which we did get a little reaction away from here at 72.39. 72.39, yes, average 72.39. Okay, and then our average suffer, we got 72.83. Okay, 72.83 is our next level here. Okay, and again, guys, these level, especially the average session range, could change here with the open of the equity market, because technically the session equity market opens up here at 9:30. Okay, so let's see. Let's double confirm some of these levels now. We have our value area high here at 74.23. That's in line. Point of control at 73.68. That's in line. We have both settlement and value area low coming in around the same levels. Okay, which is in line. Okay, let me modify that. Okay. All right. So yeah, so these are the levels that we're looking at. I would say that right now we should be looking for opportunities that to the bearish side. I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP here up on the highs here, right at the top here, and you can see that we're well below our anchored VWAP. Okay. All right, we are below our anchor VWAP. So again, indicating, oh, you see, there's our adjustment as I mentioned with the open of the session here, right? So we got 72.82. All right, so some adjustment that's been made in this market. So let's adjust it as well. So 72.82. Let's see. Didn't take long before I needed to adjust this. 72.82. Okay. And on the low side, we have 71.28 average session, 71.28. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and capture these levels and update those in our spreadsheet here. Got 72.39. I don't think that's changed. Yeah, that hasn't changed. Okay. All right. So what are some hypos? Well, I would say that, one of the hypos is for us to look for an area, a reference level to support a short in the market. Okay. We are a bit extended. I would have to say we are a bit extended to the downside, but I see that there should be some room at least down to 71.28. Okay, that's not to say that we can't get some sort of reversal off of this, because I think we identified this 72 level as an important level. Okay, that we could see some potential bounce off of 72. All right. So one area I will be looking at again is this ASR low. That's going to be one. I'm going to see how price reacts around this 72 level. We're already below it. Okay. I'm also going to be looking at 72.82. That's our ASR at our ASR high, as well as 72.30, which is our ADR low. These are all these locations are locations for more of a continuation trade to the downside. Okay, short opportunities 72.30 and 72.82 would be kind of like pullback opportunities for shorts. Okay, as long as price stays below my VWAP, I'm going to stay bearish in this market. If I do get above 72.82, which seems to be uh, remote, I guess, in this market, given the structure that we're seeing, that would be an area. If we can get above 73, that would be an area where we could see a continuation move to the upside. All right. So 71.28 for maybe a initial bounce, but then really the market, the direction that I want to participate in this market is to the downside. So any areas that I see that would offer me, I would be basically selling strength. It's kind of what I'm looking for. 72, 72.30, 72.80. These are all levels that I would look to participate to the bearish side. Okay. Pause here to see if there's any questions about anything that I've established here. This is no longer 4-hour demand here. So let's look to see what new levels are below. We're below the 73 level. We're coming into 71.50. I'm going to go ahead and modify this to 71.50. I would say that's our new level of demand on the 4-hour. Okay, or the last area. So 71.50. That's the last area where we've seen any sort of significant buying. We're rapidly coming to it, okay, but that's an area that where we could see a little bit of a bounce in this market. Okay, all right. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share here, guys. In this market, I'll make that one last adjustment here to my chart here, my table. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move into the equity markets. We'll start with the equities of choice for most. Was very busy. Wow. Remove drawings. Remove some of these things. All right. Starting to look a little bit better. Okay. All right. Let's first take a look at the weekly and ask ourselves the question: what is the general direction of this market? Well, we did break some structure, okay, to the downside, but it was met with buyers. Okay, so this 17,190 level, or say let's see, what was the low here? 17,351. That was met with some buying. Okay. And since then, we have yet to make a new low. We are above this 20-day EMA. All right. 20-day EMA. And let's go ahead and open up my, we are also above the 233-day EMA, all indicating that we are in a bullish mode in this market on the weekly. Okay. Looking at the daily. All right, daily chart. Okay, we have again, we are above. Look at this nice reversal. We got off the 233-day EMA. All right, on the daily. Now we've gotten above the 20-day EMA. We did take a peek below. We're right on it right now. Obviously, in order for this market to really get some legs to the upside, we need to get above 20,000. All right. The longer we stay up here without breaking 20,000, the more likely we are to come back and revisit maybe 18,000. Okay. So that's kind of what I see on the daily chart. Okay. All right. I do see that we broke some structure, but we did not have the resources to make it happen. And now we've kind of developed some structure here that could lead to some lower prices. Okay. For our chart. Okay. For our chart, again, we've created some series of lower highs and lower lows. We have really not made any significant highs since let's say the last week of August. We have lower highs and lower lows in this market. We did come close at this 19,700 level, but did not manage to get above. All right. So again, seems like this market is still being controlled to some degree on this chart, on the 4-hour chart, by selling. Okay, we are in an area where I would expect some support. Okay, you see the 233-day EMA still holding. Okay, we did break below the 20-day EMA. But the 20-day EMA is relatively flat, okay, indicating that we might be inside some range price action currently in NASDAQ. All right. Opening up the 30-minute chart, okay. As I mentioned in the open, I'm going to draw my volume profiles to extend not just for Friday, but through Monday, given the fact that I don't think that there is enough volume, or there was enough volume in the Monday session to really justify a lot of analysis on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and locate the 9:30 candle from Friday, extend that all the way through Monday. All right, to Monday's close here at right there, 12:30. Okay, so here we are. We are hovering right at the edge of value here. Okay, right at the edge. We made a couple of attempts to go lower. All right, and they've been met with some buyers. Okay, now very simple for me is that if I'm going to entertain some sort of bullish move, right, then I need to see price get above this 20-day EMA, or 19,525. Okay. If price gets above 19,525, and then follows up with a 19,560, then we have a reasonable chance to get back to settlement. All right. From Tuesday. Okay. Well, we are Tuesday. This is back to the highs of the day here at London. All right. So a lot of I would say a lot of sellers are currently in the market. Okay. So as long as we stay below that, I would say that we are going to potentially extend below this value area and continue our trek to the downside. Okay. If we do manage to close above those levels that I mentioned, 19,525, then maybe I will potentially change my tune. But right now, I feel like there's a fair amount of pressure here pushing to the downside. Although there is a little bit of I would say a battle. We have wicks on both ends of the chart here. Okay. Now, if we look at sell volume, well, sell volume is saying lower, but we are getting a wick here, indicating that we are seeing some buying coming in as well in these areas. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and identify our levels that we've established here for this market. So we'll go ahead and copy paste those into the right here. All right. And we're going to go ahead and open up ADR, and we're going to go ahead and open up, let's see, ASR here somewhere. Okay. So here we are. All right. We're hovering right above ASR low. Okay. We made multiple attempts here to react away from it, but honestly, I would have expected if ASR was going to hold, that I would have expected maybe a much earlier or much stronger a bounce away from it. Okay. Not really getting the bounce that I would expect from these average levels. Okay. Again, it feels like it wants to continue to the downside. Okay. Now, where can this go? Well, this is where I pull in my Fibonacci tool here, right? So here's the swing, and then bring that up. Well, I see 19,400 in the mirror, and maybe as low as 19,322. Okay, if we just look at this as the most recent swing here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my anchored VWAP here up to the top of the London session. All right, again, this is going to be another indication that as long as price stays below, then I'm looking for lower prices in this market. Okay. All right. Let's see if anything else that I should be calling out here. Right now, we're hovering right at the edge here. This candle here is technically below value. We're right up against ASR, which could offer us a bounce. If it does not hold, right, then we, again, I would say that 19,400 is very much in the cards. We could see that that was an area where we've seen some buying in the past. And if that doesn't hold, then we're looking at this 19,322, maybe 360, looking at some candles here on the left-hand side. Okay. I'm just going to spot check these things a little bit. We have average session range. We're going to modify that a little bit to 768. Okay. All right. 50, not 9, but 8. Okay. And then we have average daily range coming in at, what is that? 70. Okay. 70 looks like 770. All right. And then we got average daily range low here at was that 425. I got 423.50. That seems to be okay. Average session range low 469. That seems to be okay as well. Value area high is coming in at 632. We'll modify that 632. 632. Okay. And then we have point of control coming in at wow, these all these things are, let's see, let's double confirm I capture the right levels here. Friday through, yeah, so point of control coming in at 19,000. Let's see what that level is. 19,596.75. 19,596.75. 596.75. We got settlement at 623. Settlement, where's my settlement? 623. That's accurate. We got value area high right above it. That's accurate. Value area low coming in right at ASR low at 477. We got, where's average session range low? 477. We got 477 as our value area low. So this needs to be modified. 477. Okay. 477.50. Okay. Value area low. Okay. And then we got what? 469 as our 596. Wow, I messed this up here. I got 596 as our point of control. Sorry, guys, because I got the wrong line here. 596 as our point of control. 596 point of control. We got our average session low here at 469. 469 as our average session low. $469. Okay. And then we have settlement is at 623. That's accurate. We got value area high just coming in above our settlement at 632. Okay, 632 is our value area high. Okay, that seems in order. We got 768 as our average session range high. Okay, everything else seems to be coming in okay. All right. So like I said here, as if we do manage to hold above value, we can use this average session range as our reference, okay, to the upside. But honestly, I would like to see price get above 19,500 in order for me to entertain something along those lines. Otherwise, if we do get a close below value and then ultimately below this ASR range, then we've already established some targets here to the downside in this market. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and update this on the levels here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and all right, see. Just updating the spreadsheet here, guys, and then we'll go ahead and continue with the ES. All right. I think that's pretty much what I need to update on my the spreadsheet. See, boom, 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 boom. Session range for demand. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the ES market here and continue our review here. So we're going to go ahead and locate that. We're going to open up that chart. We're going to close some of these indicators and take a look. All right. We're going to go ahead and start with our weekly chart, since this is the open of the week here. So we can see that we've come up into a weekly supply area. All right. Right up against, say, 5720 ish. Okay. Looking at this market, I guess a little bit, from you can see that we are, we continue to trend higher. Okay. We have nothing on the weekly indicates that we've broken any sort of structure to the downside. Okay. We had an opportunity here maybe to get below 5,000 or 50-50, and it was met with some buying. Okay. So market still feels like it wants to head higher. All right. And the weekly chart. looking at the daily, we are probably looking a little bit more like we're in range. Okay, we have a lot of overlapping candles here, up against an area where we could see some resistance or supply. So I'm kind of inclined to draw a little bit of a supply zone here on the daily, right about here. Okay, somewhere in that range. And going to color that in as red. Okay. And then on the bottom side, we have an area here, although it has not been really like, we have a little bit of what was resistance support at 55.70. Okay. All right. Going ahead and moving on. So it feels a little bit like we're in range. You're welcome, Frizu. Feels like we're a little bit in range on the daily chart. Okay. In the ES. 4 hour chart. 4 hour chart is also, kind of feeling a little rangy. Okay. We've had, breaks in structure only to be met by buyers, breaks in structure only to be met by buyers. So again, we've broken some structure here to the upside and it's been met by sellers. So feels like it's ES is very much in a kind of a range. Okay. Not really a whole lot of dominance in the volume side. Okay. Outside of these 3 candles here, we're back to kind of a neutral kind of a set of orders, right? Both on the buy and the sell side seems to be there's no real dominant buyer or seller here. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here we are. We have kind of this extended range that I mentioned, the volume profile from Friday to the end of Monday. Okay, do somewhere in that range. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and extend my lines here for value. All right, we're gonna have value area high extended here. We're gonna have value area low extended here. We're gonna go ahead and extend our point of control and color that in red. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and grab our levels from our chart here and paste those up here on the right. Okay, so this market feels far more in range than Nasdaq. Nasdaq at least was at one of the value area. It actually was at the value area low edge. The fact that we are inside the value from Friday through Monday does not, I guess, excite me into wanting to participate in this market all that fast. Okay, a lot of overlapping candles. Okay, we have a lot of overlapping candles. We have wicks on both ends of the candles. Really, no dominant force in play in the ES market here. Okay, so let's take a look at some of our levels. We're going to go ahead and open up ASR here, ADR, I should say. We have 56.89 on the high side, 56.23 to the low side. We're going to go ahead and open up ASR here, but that's probably going to change with the open of the market here in about 5 minutes. Okay, we got 56.29 average session range low, 56.84 average session range high, value area high, value area low. They all seem to be in line. So honestly, this market, I guess you could potentially make a play for a full rotation of value to the bearish side. Okay, since given the kind of muted response we're getting off of this average session range. Okay, this will probably adjust once the market opens up here in the next 4 minutes. Okay, but it feels like market wants to continue its move to or I say the ES continue its move all the way through value. Okay, before it decides that it could potentially reverse here. Okay, if I take my my Fibonacci extension tool, I think you'll see similar kinds of sentiment here, right? We got price coming all the way down to basically 5,600 before we before we decide that we're going to, before a level that could cause price to reverse. Okay. This feels like it wants to continue its trek to the downside. Okay. So that's kind of my first hypo. If I'm more bullish, well, I need to look for the market to reach some lower pricing here. 5,600 seems like a logical level for that possibility. Okay. All right. Just gonna move this away here. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the ES market. Kind of take a peek here to see if there's any questions. I don't see them, but right now I would say that a full rotation of the value range seems to be in order. Okay. And maybe an extension and failure, maybe down to 5,600 before we see any sort of reaction higher. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing now. All right. All right. So let's close this session off with a view of the Dow. All right. And we'll close the session and have you guys get back to your day of trading. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with the daily. Okay. Same kind of deal. We're going to take a look and ask ourselves a question. What is the market trying to accomplish? Well, this market Dow seems like it wants to continue to the upside. Okay. We have not seen any major closes below any major inflection level. Okay. We are up at a level here that could cause price to reverse. We have a level that was broken that could be supportive here at 41,085. Okay. So again, daily chart seems to be bullish. Okay. 4-hour chart. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. We're going to remove our extension tool here, and we're going to go ahead and stretch this out. Now we are seeing in the 4-hour, okay, you can see that the trend still, super trend indicator telling us that trend still remains to the upside. Assuming that we do not break below 41,335, I would agree with that. Okay. If we do close below 41,345, then it opens the door for us to come back down to 40,939, somewhere in that range. Okay. Yeah, because it does feel again that we have yet to make a new high. Okay. And the fact that we are not able to make a new high, well, that means that the bears have kind of stepped in and taking, I guess, temporary control of the market here. All right. So 30-minute chart, we're down to this ASR zone, prior ASR zone. We have some new zones established now with the open of the market here. We're going to go ahead and open up ADR. We see ADR is kind of in line with that area as well. Okay, so this could be an area where we could get a bounce, all right, of the market. We're starting to see some signs of that as we speak. So I'm going to go ahead and start capturing some of our levels. We got ADR high. We got ADR high coming in at what is that? 41,812. We got ASR high at 41,587. ASR, okay. We got ADR low, okay, coming in at what is this? ADR low coming in at 41,441. Okay, ASR coming in at 41,266. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and open up our range profile here. So we're going to locate the 930 bar from Friday. Okay, we're going to extend that all the way through Monday. Okay, to the close of Monday, which is right about here. Okay, we can see that we have value area high right at settlement. So our settlement and value area high seem to be the same number. So I'm just going to say settlement and value area high is at 41,653. We got point of control also relatively close to settlement here at looks like 41,617. What's that? Yeah, 41,617. 41,617. And to see, we got value area low right around the same levels. We're just going to call value area low at 41,404. Okay. So similar to this kind of has a little bit more of a look and feel to the NASDAQ. Okay. Just going to bring this down here a little bit. We have price. I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance now that we are. Okay. We have initial balance range. We have price back inside value. Okay. So the question is this going to be kind of the indication that we could get a full rotation of value? All right. As long as price holds above value, then I would say that there's a good likelihood of that potentially happening. Okay. We are getting some push to the upside as we speak. We have our EMA level here. I think this is the 20-day EMA, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, actually, 169 EMA is coming into play here. We have our daily VWAP also into play here. Below it, I'm kind of inclined here to draw in my anchored VWAP at the top here. Okay. And as long as price stays above or below that, then maybe we could potentially see a move lower. Okay. Right now we're inside value. So I would need to see price both break below initial balance low and value area low for me to embrace that. Okay. View. If we do get a strong close here, and I guess eventually manage to get above this anchored VWAP, which is sloping down, by the way, then maybe I could change my tune to more bullish. But this feels like a kind of maybe a sell strength kind of move. But we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see if price does manage to close above this anchored VWAP or not. Okay. And if it does, then maybe it gives us some evidence that maybe they have enough resources to take this market higher. All right. All right. I think that's pretty much what I have today. So we will close this session. All right. This is Tuesday, so this is our first full day back into the markets. Would recommend that we kind of remain patient, wait for our opportunities to develop before we execute any trades. If you're trading equities, obviously we would need to look and see if we can get our initial balance ranges established before we take on any opportunities. Otherwise, I would wish everyone to trade well, to trade safe, to trade like a pro, and be a market trader. All right, guys, have a good day trading, and we'll either catch up in the coach's room or in group coaching later this afternoon. All right, guys, have a great day trading.